I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear.
Office of President of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution.
It's a new day across the country as President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris take office.
We'll have live, continuous coverage from our nation's capital to right here in Northeast Indiana.
We watched the inauguration with a group of students here at Purdue Fort Wayne, just like we did on this day 4 years ago. Tonight, their thoughts on the speech.
The inauguration will go down in history books, but how will it be studied? We'll hear from a local history professor about how it will be chronicled.
And bringing you local coverage you can count on.
Your #1 News at 6 starts now. And thanks for joining us. I'm Dirk Rowley.
And I'm Tara Brantley. It's a day of change for America, and Wayne 15 has team coverage of today's historic inauguration that's been hundreds of years in the making. We start in our nation's capital, where President Joe Biden called for unity after being sworn in as the 46th President of the United States. In his afternoon address, he said he'll be a president for all Americans. Biden was sworn in by Chief Justice John Roberts. Prior to his oath of office, Vice President Kamala Harris was sworn in by Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Harris is making history as America's first female, Black, and South Asian VP. A handful of students gathered on campus at Purdue Fort Wayne today to look at history in the making.
Wayne 15's Chris Darby watched the ceremony along with those students, and Chris, a little bit different than 4 years ago.
Yeah, on this day 4 years ago, I watched President Trump be sworn in with a group of students. Today, the ceremony for President Biden held in a much bigger room with fewer people.
It was great, fantastic. I loved every moment of it.
Just a handful of Purdue Fort Wayne students gathered in the wall ballroom watching the swearing in of the new president of the United States.
He's going to unite us as opposed to Trump. All he was doing was dividing us. Now we're going to be united.
4 years ago, the viewing included a panel discussion. Today, guests were brought in virtually, a sure sign of the times. One theme did hold true through both inaugurations, though, a hope for unity.
I think one of the most important things we can do is sort of give Trump a chance. I think, sort of the time for fear and cowering is over.
I would hope that everyone can kind of take a breath and, that doesn't mean all the world's problems are gone, but that we can kind of get back to just, having civil or as civil as we possibly can, conversation in politics.
One senior today offering cautious optimism. All 4 years spent in school surrounded by unpredictability.
I'm still waiting for the feeling of relief. I think once things start to, like executive orders and stuff, decide to start to be signed, then that'll be a lot easier for it to set in because, I don't know. Expect the unexpected, it always feels like, with how everything's been in the past 4 years.
Some of those executive orders being signed just in the last few minutes. Now, if you want to look back on that story from 4 years ago, you can do that right now on Wayne.com. In studio, Chris Darby, Wayne 15 News.
Chris, thank you for that. Senator Todd Young and Representative Jim Banks both attended today's inauguration. Wayne 15 spoke with Banks on the phone shortly after the ceremony, his fourth and second as a congressman. He talked about how on this date 2 weeks ago, the Capitol was filled with rioters.
We've overcome that. America always overcomes our challenges, and today was a powerful testament to that. Unfortunately, there are 25,000 National Guard troops on Capitol Hill. A lot of us are questioning why it took such a display of force of our military to make today happen. It shouldn't be that way.
Senator Young was also in attendance along with Brigadier General Lyles, the Adjutant General of the Indiana National Guard. Young said, quote, "I would also like to thank the Indiana National Guard members who were mobilized to our nation's capital to help ensure a safe inauguration." As history is being made today, how we look back on this 59th transfer of power remains to be seen.
Many unprecedented events led to today and then continued through the inauguration. Wayne 15 Sierra Tufts continues our team coverage from Studio 15. Sierra?
Dirk and Tara, two things can play out in the future of today's inauguration, the memorable and the historic. Purdue Fort Wayne Assistant History Professor Jeff Melanson explains when you're living through something like this, everything can seem historic. He says while former President Trump did not attend today's inauguration, he's not the only one to ever do so. Melanson says the pandemic, the election, and riots on Capitol Hill all culminate to a historic moment. However, it's not known how this story will shape itself in the future, but there is one key takeaway.
I think it's going to be change. I think that the Biden administration has really gone out of its way to emphasize change from the last 4 years. And even to emphasize some points of change from the prior Obama administration. And so I think really in the current moment, the big thing is going to be change. And I think the other big call that we're going to see from President Biden is a call for unity. He's been making that pitch for a long time now. I think he mentions it in his inaugural address. And I think he's going to try and make the good faith effort to see that move forward. As a society, we've become way too fractured.
As for what makes something memorable, that's completely subjective. These are some photos of when Wayne 15 was at JFK's inauguration. His speech, as well as other memorable moments, are part of a poll on our Twitter right now, which you can vote in. In Studio 15, Sierra Tufts, Wayne 15 News.
Sierra, thank you. Wayne 15 has everything you need to know involving today's inauguration on our website, wayne.com. You can also watch more live coverage there as well.
Now, your first weather from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center.
So we saw the snow wind down this morning, and as expected, some of our highest snowfall totals came in from areas north of Fort Wayne. In Fort Wayne, we picked up about a ½ inch of snow. Woodburn reported 2.5 inches. Tri-Lakes 2.5 inches as well. Angola pretty close at 2.4. Kendallville had only 1 inch. Now we've seen that snow move out. The clouds have decreased too, so the sun came out over the course of the afternoon, and we entered the evening here. Generally clear in most spots. However, clouds will be back as we move into the morning tomorrow. Conditions stay dry here tonight and temperatures falling out of the 30s and into the 20s. It's 28 now in Fort Wayne. Winds breezy from the southwest at 14 miles per hour. And in your forecast for this evening, temperatures gradually falling through the 20s. 27 at 7, at 9 o'clock, 26 at 11. Our temperature 25. We'll drop a degree or so more than that as we make our way closer and closer to dawn. Now coming up in the 10-day forecast, a brief temporary warm-up heads in tomorrow thanks to air from the southwest, but we'll get colder again by Friday. I'll have that forecast for you and a look ahead to a much colder week coming up later in the show. We'll toss it over to Glenn.
Thanks, Nicholas. I was hoping these graphic boxes would make me skinnier, but no such luck. After a dramatic win in Columbus, the Boilermakers having all the feels, as the kids say, after beating the Buckeyes. Meanwhile, the Mastodons are currently ranked #1 in the country in a certain statistic. We're going to tell you what that is and hear from the Dons. And Philip Rivers calls it a career in Indy. Details next in sports.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Glenn Marini's Sports Report. Sports coverage you can count on.
Here they go. Ivy. The step back for the freshman. Ivy!
Because I know I want this game so bad, and I've been struggling, mentally. And I know I want to win, and I want to win so bad. And just to see that shot go in, it just means everything.
What a shot, what a win, and what a moment. Purdue freshman Jaden Ivey playing the hero last night. Ivey's three with 5 seconds to go, the difference in Purdue's win at Ohio State. Now, speaking of threes, you can call him the Mastodon marksman because out of the 340 Division I basketball programs in the entire country, the Dons are #1 in one category, and that's shooting the three ball. So far this season, the Dons connecting on 43.9% of their triples. That gives them a slight edge over other top teams, Drake, Colgate, and Baylor. Their hot shooting, a big reason the Dons are simply crushing it right now. After sweeping Milwaukee this past weekend, they've won 4 in a row. As for their proficiency from long distance, head coach John Kaufman and company can't say enough about the Dons and their top-ranked three-point attack.
Last year we didn't shoot as well, but we were a lot younger team. This year, we have a lot of newcomers, but everyone's a lot older. The second game in Milwaukee, we were like 12 for 17 or something. And I can only imagine if we played a team that was 12 for 17, and it makes it pretty hard to beat when they shoot that well.
We want to win the free throw battle and the three-point battle. And I think if you do that, I don't care what your defense says, you're hard to beat just because you're not settling and you're in attack mode and you're probably getting great shots.
Coach Kaufman of the Dons on the road this weekend with games at Green Bay on Friday and Saturday. In football news, Philip Rivers is one and done in Indianapolis. The quarterback announcing his retirement. Rivers spending 17 years in the NFL, the first 16 with the Chargers, then last season with the Colts. The 39-year-old is fifth in NFL history in passing yards and touchdown passes. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler. Rivers going out with a bang, threw for almost 4,200 yards and 24 touchdowns this season. Rivers leading the Colts to an 11-5 record and a spot in the playoffs. He's now off to coach high school football back home in Alabama, where he hopes to coach his sons. It leaves the Colts obviously looking for their quarterback of the future. Meanwhile, here in the present, it's AFC Championship time. That game right here on Wayne TV this Sunday, CBS pregame starting at 6 o'clock. Game between the Bills and Chiefs kicking around 6:40. That'll do it for sports. I'm Glenn Marini. Here's Nicholas with more.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Today, our high temperature, 33, exceeding the average of 32, and also higher on the low end, so that means another red day on our calendar. I'll share that with you after the break and talk about some colder days that are ahead.
But first, former Vice President Mike Pence is back home again in Indiana. A live report from his hometown of Columbus when your number one news at 6 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News at 6.
After attending today's inauguration, former Vice President Mike Pence addressed a crowd of family and friends at a homecoming this afternoon here in Indiana.
Pence, Second Lady Karen, and family arrived at Columbus Municipal Airport in his government plane this afternoon. Mike Sullivan was there to hear their remarks after they touched down. Mike, what did Pence and the Second Lady have to say?
Well, it was an emotional return for the Hoosier, who promised his wife, Karen Pence, that they would soon move back to the state. In his speech, it was about reflection with his wife, saying the former vice president actually traveled here in Air Force Two, sitting in the cockpit. Let a guest sit there so they can get the best view. On this flight, Pence wanted one last look, just for perspective. In his speech, he looked back at his accomplishments over the last 4 years, saying he is proud of the work his administration did, and he believes the best for America is yet to come. He congratulated President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for taking office today. At the same time, he gave thanks to former President Donald Trump for giving he and his family the chance to serve this country for the last 4 years.
And the way they allowed us to make a difference in the life of this nation, rebuilding our military. In our first 3 years, reviving the economy and taking it to heights that it had never seen before. And appointing a record number of principled men and women to our federal courts at every level, including 3 Supreme Court justices, including Indiana's own Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Express my appreciation.
Congressman Greg Pence was in attendance today. He called his brother a hero. He also weighed in on what may be next for the younger Pence.
Hopefully I'll find out a little bit after he gets here. You know, I think he was busy trying to do the right thing out in Washington, which I think he absolutely did. He's a hero for what he did, but I don't think he's really looked forward.
Well, Congressman Greg Pence did say that his brother will be involved during the transition of power moving forward. We just don't know in what capacity. Live in Columbus, I'm Mike Sullivan. Back to you.
From the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center, here's your latest forecast.
Well, here's that January calendar still filled with red, representing all these warmer than average days. But as I look out across the 10-day forecast, I'm seeing more and more cold air showing up, and we're likely to see some blue days before this month comes to a close. 6.4 degrees above average, though, so far for this month to date. Our current temperatures are in the upper 20s in Fort Wayne, but look down to the southwest. Temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. We have some of that warmer air coming in here tomorrow. That'll give our temperatures a nice boost above average. Won't be as high as those numbers, but a big change from the cold day we've experienced across the area today. It was a day that started off with a lot of clouds. The snow tapered off and ended, and then we broke into some sunshine, as captured here by our Parkview Field camera. Storm tracker shows the clouds continuing to decrease. That is our trend now. However, by morning, we're going to see the clouds increase around here. Conditions stay dry and precipitation free now for a number of days. Our current temperature 28, feeling like 17 though, with our winds from the southwest at 14 miles per hour and a number of more windy moments coming our way over the course of the next day and a half. Our current temperature sits at 28. At 8 o'clock we fall to 26, and we're still at 26 at 10 tonight. Temperatures stay in the 20s throughout the overnight period. Morning time readings will be these: 24 in Fort Wayne, 23 in Auburn, 22 in Kendallville, and 25 in Van Wert and Portland. We do get off to that cold start for us, but with strong southwesterly winds tomorrow, those temperatures get that boost to take us up to about 40 degrees by the heart of the afternoon. And although the morning starts off with some clouds, the clouds decrease, especially as we get into the afternoon. The sun pops back out again. So for your day ahead, at 8 in the morning, 26. But remember, tomorrow's going to be a breezy day for us. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. We'll have a wind chill in the morning at 8, a 15. At noon, it'll be feeling like 26. At 4 o'clock, it'll feel like 32, even though our temperature will hit its high of 40. Temperatures top out in the upper 30s north of Fort Wayne tomorrow, low 40s possible to the south. And then we'll be back into cold air as we get into our Friday. On Friday, we start off with clouds, and the clouds will be sticking around throughout the entire day as we wrap up this work week. Take a look now at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Tomorrow, there we are at 40. Then we're back to the upper 20s on Friday. Saturday, similar, but we will see a nice amount of sunshine on Saturday. Sunday, our next weather system moves in. Cloudy skies and a chance at some scattered rain and snow showers. Monday, also a chance at some scattered rain and snow showers. High temperatures just slightly above freezing on those days. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week, high temperatures will be in the 20s each day. That is cold, yes, colder than what we've been experiencing, but take note of the lows. That's really where we're going to feel it. In the morning, when our temperatures are in the teens, and Thursday night into Friday morning next week, a low of 12. That's almost bone-chilling cold considering the winter we've had around here so far. A week from Saturday, we'll be back into the 30s. So that's your latest forecast. Tara, over to you.
It's almost bone-chilling. Thanks, Nicholas. Still to come on Wayne 15 News at 6, a COVID update from the Indiana Department of Health. Will break down the numbers when we come back.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News at 6.
Investigators say a space heater plugged into an extension cord is what sparked a house fire this morning.
It happened around 11:15 on Chippewa Trail in the Kikionga Shores neighborhood off of Liberty Mills Road. Once firefighters arrived, they saw heavy smoke coming from the home. They got inside and saw that it started on the second floor in a bedroom. One person was able to get out safely. They say it's a reminder to plug your space heaters in safely.
More than 1/3 of all Indiana counties are in the worst category for community spread of COVID-19. The State Department of Health updated its county infection map today. 34 Indiana counties are now in the red. Allen County has returned to orange, along with DeKalb, Grant, Kosciuszko, LaGrange, Noble, and Wells. Jay County has improved from orange to yellow. It is the only county in yellow across the entire state. Governor Eric Holcomb changed his weekly coronavirus briefing from today to tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. You can watch it live here on Wayne 15 or on Wayne.com.
Do you need a part-time job? The Memorial Coliseum is looking to hire this weekend. They're hosting a job fair. Now, some of the jobs include guest services, ticket sales, parking lot attendant, security guard, and many more. All positions start out at $10 an hour or even higher. The job fair is Saturday from 9 in the morning until noon in the upper lobby of the Arena and Expo Center entrance. Now, you do need to apply ahead of time. You can find the link to do that on Wayne.com.
Coming up, Nicholas is back to check out the forecast. So late last night on my way home, a little bit of slipping and sliding.
Yeah, there was just a little bit. You only need a little snow to do that. Tonight, no new snow is falling. It is a dry night still, though some slick spots remain because it's been a cold day around the area. 24 will be our overnight low temperature. Tomorrow afternoon will rise to 40, so we'll be doing some melting around the area then. Temperatures drop back in the upper 20s for highs on Friday, similar on Saturday. Sunday, we will make it a little bit above freezing, and we could be warm enough for both some rain and snow showers to fall, and we'll watch that chance on our Monday as well.
So no slipping and sliding.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Thanks, Nicholas.
See you back here at 11.